Hello, I guess.
Yes.
Well, welcome. This is we're not good at this. We already had this discussion off air, but we're not great at starting these things. I've done podcasts for a little bit. This is your first, you said, right?
Technically, yes, this is my first.
Cool.
Actually, bro, I'm a chicken shit. I'm gonna be honest. Like, don't put me in front of a camera.
All right, perfect.
Just fair warning to viewers of future and like present. I may not look you dead in the camera all the time.
That's fine. That's
about it.
I'm not. My camera's in a different spot than my screen, so I awkwardly look like I'm looking away. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, sorry, this is just sounds
this is just
confusing and you don't get it. Hey, it is what it is. Welcome to the Flight Deck podcast. We've had this in the works for 2 weeks now. We've been kind of going back and forth, trying to give or take. It's mostly my fault that we took 2 weeks. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I've been busy. It is what it is.
I mean,
but hey, we're here now.
If we're being honest, we picked a decent time to do it because
I'm so happy that we waited
2 weeks ago. These first couple episodes would have been.
It would have just been depressing for the entire time. Now it's still kind of depressing.
It's kind of depressing, but there's
not as bad. There's news. There's news and there's stuff we can talk about. Yeah. Basically, a little while ago, Connor replied to one of my tweets. Is like, hey, if you ever need someone to come on the pod, like I'd happily come talk baseball. And I'm like, you know what? We haven't done a podcast in forever. And I'm like, I'm looking to start a baseball podcast. So I messaged him and this is what became of it. And I
think the words I said to you were verbatim, and pick a time and pick a date and time.
Yeah.
I am a university student that's not.
So you're off.
It's on break. Just name the time and the place.
So we found a time and a place and we're here.
And currently having him.
I'm super excited to talk Blue Jays. I haven't been able to do a Blue Jays podcast ever. So this is something new to me and I'm super pumped for it. Basically, I don't think we need a big introduction. You'll get to know us over if you listen.
If I'm hoping that people that follow us on Twitter
ideally
listen to this. So you know who we are a little bit.
Ideally. Yeah. I feel like I have a handful of enemies on Twitter and I feel like that doesn't help us. I don't know what I did. And I think I tweeted this out today. I'm like, there's this group. Every time I tweet out a take that is a little bit different than everybody else's, they just attack it. And I love watching it.
Like, is it Jays fan specific or is it just like,
oh, it's just Jays fans. I don't really have a lot of beef.
It's because like we're gonna talk about later. We're in such a shitty time for the Jays this year.
I feel like I just angered other people with like the opposite side of takes. It's like they all want to think this, and then I throw something out and I don't know. I feel like I don't come off very well on Twitter. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't like. Here's the thing. I come off good on Twitter.
Yeah, you're fine. You're
time
super friendly on Twitter.
The only time I post is Kevin Biggio's the GOAT. Danny Jansen hit his music. Like
exactly. Like literally, you're super friendly to everyone on Twitter, and I, as a person, I'm combative. Yeah, but like it comes off way worse when you can't see my tone and my. So I've had it a bunch of times where Twitter. Even like literally 2 days ago, there was a tweet that I tweeted out that didn't pop well. It was like I tweeted about Schneider changing the lineup, and it's just like there's stuff that I've been told about the Jays that I guess isn't as known as I thought it would be. I don't know if you saw the tweet.
Okay, sure. I probably did. I just don't remember it.
So basically, it's like Schneider. So I'm not.
Oh, was it like Schneider did like is basically?
It was like against the analytics team, which like came off as like it's against analytics, but I'm like. It's a long story. I don't want to get into it. I can't really talk about it enough without giving away. I got blasted for that. And I'm like, hey, it is what it is. But hey, the reason we get to talk about John Snyder is because he's the manager of
the Blue Jays.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. When we first came in with this idea, it was like this was not a thing. Like when we started this, I thought no chance in hell of Charlie Montoyo would be fired.
Oh yeah, dude! Like, and you got the op, didn't they? Like option, so he was here till next season.
Mm-hmm. He signed the contract at the beginning of this year,
aka renewed faith. Like,
I'm like he's the guy.
Yeah, he'll bring us out of this, and then West Coast happened.
Then a lot went down really quick, and I feel a little bit bad for Charlie because I think
you can't not.
No, the team hit that spot too, where it was like it was a weird sequence because they shit pumped the Rays for 2 straight games.
Yeah,
and that was
Canada.
great.
Vladdy was like, "Happy Canada Day! I love you," and everybody's like, "Pay this man!"
Sky high, so much fun, like unbelievable. And then
Kevin Biggio had like 4 hits. It was a great day to be a fan. Like
unbelievable. And then the next game, Gausman goes out and starts great, and you're like, "Wow!" And then he takes one off the ankle and deflated everything. That started it all, right? Like,
yeah.
So that game you had to bring in.
Was that Lawrence?
Casey Lawrence? Yeah. And he's not good. So
he's not good. But then
it is what it is. And then
it was a doubleheader that day. And then you had Thomas Hatch.
Yeah. And then not like Hatch started like garbage to begin with, but then you had the whole thing with Budzinski in that game. And then you found and then you found out the next day what happened. And like, so they lost 3 straight against the Rays, and it was like shit. But now it's like, hey, pack your bags. You're flying across the country.
Oakland
you're going to Oakland.
Worst team in baseball.
The next day, and it's like you're already reeling from everything with Bud. Now you got to hop on a plane and take the furthest flight possible to Oakland, and then obviously that didn't go well.
The first game, the unthinkable happens. Alek Manoah gets his shit pushed in.
Yeah, like unbelievable. Like things are just weird.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is how this trip is gonna go. All right.
It's like you knew it wasn't pretty, and then you got to go up to Seattle to run into red hot Seattle Mariners team
for some reason. And then you just
Canada South, and it just didn't go well. It just
brim out.
Plain and simple didn't go well. But I mean, there wasn't much in that run that you blame on managerial decisions.
Yeah, it was like
they forgot how to hit.
Dude, it's like I think I said this on Twitter. It was the beginning of the season. It was essentially, I think,
literally
one of the guys, like one of the main Twitch people, Lewis. He put like he's like, I missed the game. What happened? And I'm like, it was essentially an April game. It was the last game of the A's.
Yeah,
it was the last game against the A's, and I'm like, it was an April game.
Yeah,
Bo and Chappie hit home runs. Pitching was great. Romano saved it. We're good.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, yeah. But then you went to
they Seattle didn't hit with runners in scoring position.
Oh my no.
They're still not hitting with runners.
They're still not doing it now.
It's weird. Like they're just going through these waves. You started like this, and you couldn't hit when it mattered, and they'd win games like 3-2.
It's just,
and then all hell broke loose, and they were hitting everything, but they couldn't pitch. And now they can pitch again, but they can't hit. It's just they can't put it all together at once, and it's frustrating. But it resulted in the firing of Charlie Montoyo because.
But the thing about the timing of the Charlie firing too is they had the off day after Seattle, which was the funeral.
Yep.
And then we're all like, yeah, that's fine. That's rough, dude.
To take your off day and go to a funeral for your coach's
daughters. That's not an off day mentally. Like
no, exactly. You're still in.
You're still. And then
not getting a break.
They come home and they play Philly and they win. And we're like, okay, this is the start of something. And the next day, I remember this vividly. I'm playing MLB The Show at and then I get the thing on the Twitter. Boom, Charlie Montoyo's gone. I'm like, oh.
It was weird timing. I'm like,
yeah. And I'm just like,
usually like, yeah, you see it in the middle of the, I guess it kind of didn't help because of the funeral situation, but usually you see it like in the middle of the bad stretch. They're like, yeah, you got to go. Like, it's just not working. But that one, it was like, they won a game. They're like, cool, but you still got to go. Yeah. You don't usually see that. Like the Angels, they were in a terrible stretch. The Phillies were in a terrible stretch. And like, those are the only two that got fired.
Yeah. And there's one of two ways that this firing can go. It can go the Angels way, where it's, oh, you just don't win anymore.
Yeah, it's not the manager. Your team stinks.
Or you can go the Phillies route of, oh, Kyle Schwarber's just going to hit 30 home runs before the All-Star break, and you're just going to be
catch fire.
Even after you lose Bryce Harper for months.
Nuts.
But
I think that was the funny thing about them coming into town too. Everyone's like, oh, the Phillies aren't good. They're missing guys. I'm like, they're missing JT. He's a loss.
And they're missing. I think it was Nola and Gibson were the pitchers.
Yeah,
I don't think they were going to pitch anyway.
No, exactly. And then Alec Boehm was missing, but he would have been missing even if he was vaccinated, because he dislocated his thumb or something like that. So he was
maybe going to pinch hit like one game.
Yeah. So it's like they weren't missing anyone. They're red hot. They're not bad. We beat a good team.
Yeah. It is. We pumped Zach Wheeler, who's one of the best pitchers in the baseball.
Exactly. They didn't. It's not like they weren't throwing their best at us. It was just was what it was.
Yeah, and but some of the comments that came out from the players, I'm just like, oh, there's more here.
Oh yeah, see, I've always been a Charlie guy. Like I don't have to. Like I haven't made that a secret.
Charlie, the manager, a little rocky sometimes, but Charlie
has his moments. Charlie the guy is incredible.
Charlie the guy's a vibe.
Yeah. And to me, he was a player's manager. Like it seemed like the guys liked to play for him, and he stuck up for his guys as much as people want to say he doesn't.
Yeah, like the thing with Charlie is for every like Trent Thornton in a high leverage situation, you got a video of him playing the bongos on Twitter. Like, that's our guy. Like
or the little run with George Springer. Like stuff like that. It's like I love having this guy. He's so fun.
But then you had like the spectrum of comments come out where it's like Ross Stripling basically said, Yeah, this is on us. Like, Charlie'd still be here if
super we respected what
bro,
what Ross said.
Small note. Ross Stripling, Ross Atkins, sign him tonight.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. Give him a decent ticket. I'm okay with it. Yeah. He looks great. Like, even if he's not in your rotation, he's such a nice bullpen.
Yeah. But then you get the other side where Bo Bichette's like, oh yeah, management made a decision.
And I don't disagree.
I don't disagree. And we're like,
hey, you can think that. I get it. It's fine.
It's your prerogative.
But like, yeah, you're allowed to. I understand. There's lots of people that agree with Bo Bichette, and I understand it. But you don't come out and say that in the media. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, there's got to be something going on. But the other side of that too is like, man, this is also on you. Like, if there's anyone that's been disappointing on this team, I think Bo Bichette's at the top of the list.
The top three is in order: Bo, Barrios, and Vlad.
Yeah, I think it's like Vlad Kikuchi tied for 3. Like, but Vlad should have been better than
Vlad. Kikuchi, but the thing is, Vlad's like not even having a bad year.
Yeah, no, he's not. I think it's weird with Vlad too, is because he wasn't that player last year anytime before in the majors, and then he had this like ridiculous year that like might not be what Vlad is, and now he's back to just all-star stuff.
He's back to like 270, 20 home run. Like,
yeah, like he's fine. He's putting up good, maybe great numbers, but he's not putting up MVP numbers, and people are like, oh,
he's putting up all-star numbers, but not MVP.
Exactly, which is fine. I mean, I'd rather him put up MVP numbers, obviously, but I'd rather everyone put up MVP.
It's just compounded because we didn't have Teoscar for a month.
Right.
Bo is skidding. Like,
now, Bo is a legitimate disappointment this year. Like,
Bo is legitimately bad this year.
Yeah, it's not like he's disappointing just a little bit. Like, he's just not been Bo Bichette.
This guy led the league in hits and runs last year.
Exactly.
Like,
this is a guy that hit 300 in almost every year that he's had in his career. Like, I know average is kind of outdated, but like hitting 300 is still tough to do, and he's done it every year with the stats on top of it.
Yeah, and it's also compounded because Bo doesn't get on base other than base hits.
No, exactly. He's not a guy that's going to take walks, and that's fine if he's hitting.
If you're hitting, what did he hit last year? 297.
Like, give or take. He was hovering near 300. Like, it wasn't. Yeah. You can take that. I don't mind.
Yeah.
If your OBP is only like 330, 340, but you're hitting 290.
Yeah, with damn near 30 home runs. And
yeah, exactly. I take that every day of the week. You're driving in runs, you're doing your job. Like, it's great. And he plays, I would say, underrated defense at short.
Yeah, his defense,
I don't think the stats do him
last
justice.
Year, oh boy, it was really bad. But I think
started bad.
Okay, yeah, actually, correct. Started bad. Mm-hmm. I think going into the All-Star break, he had like
he was like top 3 in errors in the majors.
After the All-Star break, he had like 2, 3.
Yeah. Like, the back half of the season, he was phenomenal. And I think that's closer to what Bo Bichette's going to be in his career than the first half.
I'm not going to say he's going to be an above average defender. He'll be average.
No, he's average. He's an average defender, which,
like, I think,
as an offense first guy, I'm fine with it. Like, it's like, you go out there and you hit me 30, 35 homers with average defense at shortstop.
Like, the biggest comparable, I think, is if it's a balancing act between him and Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson, terrible defensive shortstop, hits 330.
Yeah.
Like, if Bo can just be a slightly worse hitter, but a much better defender, we'll take that.
You're fine.
Like,
TA is a perennial all-star. He's become a perennial all-star, at least.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, so there was the Bo thing.
Yeah.
But then there was the other one. Scott Mitchell tweeted out where he goes, my simple question to one Blue Jays veteran regarding Montoyo, surprised at this at all? And the response was no. That's all I'll say.
That's ridiculous. But we gotta go down the list. Who's a veteran on the team?
Now, see, this was my first thing, and I forget who said it to me. One of my friends said, he goes, "Oh, it's got to be Springer, right?" And I'm like, I can't see it being Springer. They seem to get along really well.
Yeah, it can't be George. Like, what's the benchmark of a veteran? Obviously, Bo and Vlad aren't veterans.
No,
you can't call Alejandro Kirk or Alek Manoah veterans.
Pure speculation. I have no insight to this.
It's got to be a bullpen piece.
Kevin Gausman was mine.
Oh, you know what?
That's my like.
Gausman was in like my top 3 of like options. I think it was like, obviously pure speculation. I thought it was him, Phelps, or like
maybe
Simber.
Yeah, he uses Phelps a lot.
I
feel like Phelps wouldn't say anything.
He gets run and all he just curveball outside, curveball outside, curveball out. I'm just like, oh,
yeah. See, now with Gausman, the thing there is there's obviously issues for Gausman because they abuse the shift, and it's hurt Gausman a handful of times this year.
I think he's 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And he should be an all-star.
Nuts. As of like 3 weeks ago, he was leading the league in, I think it was F4 for pitchers. Sorry.
I don't remember. I think it was like before this start, he had a FIP under 2.
Yeah, stupid.
Just stupid. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So that's where I think it makes sense, is like he's having issues with the way they're set up. And I could see him saying that and being like, look, don't say this, but yeah, this is how I feel.
And that, like,
and I don't blame him. He's allowed to have that opinion too.
Yeah, that's Kevin Gausman. If it is Kevin Gausman, obviously.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it very well could not be Kevin Gausman.
Bro, that was just the name that popped in. For all we know, it could be fucking Danny Jansen.
Yeah, exactly. Like it could be literally anyone on that team.
Could be anybody over the age of 25.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I'm really intrigued as to know who Scott Mitchell considers a veteran.
Yeah, because I don't think you consider like, obviously, I don't think you consider Teo. Do you consider Lourdes a veteran? I don't think
they came up the same year. Like
I don't know. Bo, Vlad,
no,
Kirk,
but like, is it like a Blue Jays veteran? Like they've been around the team,
or is it like a
league-wide
Barrios? Like I've been in the league 6 years, kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, now I can't imagine it being Barrios.
Oh,
he just seems like the salt of the earth human being.
Yeah.
He brought his mom to this charity dinner they did like 2 months ago, and I thought that was the most adorable thing of all time. There was pictures of everyone with their significant others, and there's Barrios with his mom. I'm like,
even though his mom and his kids are in the city. Like, it's not like last year where it was like still half in Minnesota, half here.
No, yeah, like, it was awesome. It was. I thought that was awesome. So yeah, weird situation on Charlie all around.
Yeah, like
it definitely seems like they're very split in that clubhouse right now.
Yeah, because a lot of the people, like you had Teoscar being like, "Oh, it's a business," and I'm just like, "You really liked him? You really like him?"
Yeah, like, I think he lost the room. I think that's what, out of the comments that have come out so far, I think he lost it. Which, hey, it happens. It is what it is.
I was listening to Talking Baseball earlier, like the John Boy stuff, and they essentially, one of the things that John Boy himself said was that Charlie didn't, like, he was a cancer of optimism.
Okay.
He was too optimistic about everything.
Okay.
But then, the second he started doing it was he threw Kikuchi under the bus unprovoked. Like he threw Kikuchi under the bus without getting asked about Kikuchi. And we're like, and I like, he said, like, I'm assuming that's when the players were like, you're going to throw him under the bus without being asked in the media and not come to him, like, during the game, or like in the clubhouse.
That might point to where he started to lose people. I think that doesn't help.
It didn't help, and then you get the West Coast trip where it's just like, oh,
and then everything. Yeah, then the team went to shit, and it's just
then the team went to shit, and we're just like, oh, we can't do this.
And then the fan base went for it, and it was just like, you had to do something. Now, on to John Schneider. I love John Schneider. I think he's a great guy.
He came up with. I'm not gonna say came up, but he managed Vlad, Bo, Escobar,
came up with the boys the whole way through, basically.
Like,
and so he makes sense as their guy, right?
I think even Kevin Biggio, like, he was like, John makes the hard things easy, which is in layman's terms, he can come to me and say I've been playing shit, and it's cool, and he's like, I get that, I understand it now. Like, he's fine.
Yeah, like, I think he's a great players manager. I think he's perfect for that. My issue here is that every other quote came out that said, like, John Schneider was already doing this job, essentially.
Yeah, it's like he's like, oh yeah, it's not going to change. Like, and now you go revisionist history and you look back at things in the dugout, and I'm like, John Schneider's like a lot more active with the players, and Charlie was just kind of like sitting there talking to Pete Walker a little bit, like just
John Schneider's the manager. Realistically,
he was the manager already.
Been the manager for a long time, so I think this is realistically just a paper move.
Yeah, because it's a paper move, but you get the Buffalo manager Casey Candell, you get him back up, so it's like you kind of get visual stuff there, but it's like,
I think it's an optics thing to be like, all right, they want the manager gone, he's not doing anything anyways.
But then you see in the first game the hit and run, and we're like, oh, this is crazy. New. It's Matt Chapman running with no out, and it's Espinal hitting, and I'm like, oh,
the most perfectly executed hit and run too, because the way Espinal hit that ball was so awkward looking, and it worked. It was like basically like at his shoulders. And he was going for it. Like, he just stuck his hands out and he goes, I'm going opposite field, and it was perfect. Like, the most perfectly executed.
No, but like, not even, he didn't even go opposite field. That was the thing. He pulled it. it went to Schwarber, and Matt Chapman's like, it's Kyle Schwarber in the outfield. I can run. Like,
he did. Was it not? I thought it was him too that put one in. Someone put one between the first baseman and the second baseman as he was running. I was there, so I don't remember like who was who, but someone was covering Tuvag, and they like just slapped it up the right side. It might not have been SB. They might have done it. I think they did it multiple times. Like they did it. Yeah, they did it a couple times, but then you see like Tapia running, Bo stealing.
Like, and we're like, yeah, Bo steals a lot, but it's like
he was going.
These aren't situations where normally
they were up 6. They were up 6 runs.
I'm like, okay. They're up like 6-0, and we're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's definitely much more aggressive under Schneider, which is weird. Like, it kind of just goes against all the quotes that came out. It was just like, well, he's already doing the job, but then his second day on the job, he's doing completely different things. Or first day on the job, I guess.
I think a lot of it was like he's basically the manager in Spirit. The guys already all like me, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then
they're pulling for him.
But when Charlie was gone, it's like, all right, let's go aggressiveness, which works against the Phillies.
Yeah,
and we'll get to yesterday.
Yeah, so coming into the Royals series, you hear from Jeff I think Jeff Passan was first to tweet it out.
Yeah, it was Jeff Passan where it was just like, here's 10 people.
10 guys. And like, obviously there's been a couple players on every team so far that haven't been vaccinated.
But the most was 4.
Yeah, and it's not guys you care about. Like, it's just like, oh, they're losing a bullpen arm or they're missing someone here and there.
The one that I remember specifically was the Twins, and they lost like 2 bullpen arms.
Yeah,
and like
they had some decent pieces that didn't show up.
Yeah, it was 2 bullpen arms and like a starter, but that wasn't going to start.
Yeah, and then someone else that was just like an everyday guy, but not like
it was Max Kepler. It was Kepler.
Yeah. So like, yeah,
and we're like, okay,
Kepler's a loss, but it's not. Yeah, it's not.
But it's not your entire outfield.
No,
2 of your catchers, like
2 starting pitchers, your bullpen arms, like it's almost 50% of your team. Like we're closing in on half your team.
And the good, and then they come out with all of the typical, oh, Blue Jays have an advantage, rah, and we're just like, God. I'm just like,
just painful too. Like
it's
Gary Sheffield Jr. was like pushing,
and
just insufferable stupidity is all I can say, because it's just like you're talking about like Canada and our rules, and I'm like, it's the same thing on the other side of the border.
Why do you like? And I've seen this point. Why do you think all the foreign players got vaccinated? Because they had to.
Exactly. They didn't have a choice, regardless of where they played. Like, they had to.
Like if Teoscar Hernandez was in Cleveland, still had to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was forced to do it regardless of where he played. Like it wasn't. Yeah, it's no different. As
long as he's not an American, like that's the thing. If you go down the list, like I'm guaranteeing you, literally everybody that's missed a game in Toronto, American.
Yeah.
Like.
Yep.
And then Max Kepler with German, I guess. Like.
Yeah. Like there's American. A lot of them are Americans, and it's just.
Yeah.
It's such a lazy narrative, man.
And then you get the comments from the Royals players themselves.
Bro.
Whit Merrifield, you really don't want to be a Royal anymore. like you're killing 6 years of good faith.
It's
in
just
2 sentences.
These are their best. These are their best guys that are coming out with these things, and they're straight up just saying
it was their 1 through like 7.
Literally.
And then like Whit Jr. and Pasquantino and like
and you're already missing Sal.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of forgot Salvador Perez was a thing. Like I'm like
it's been so quiet on the Sal.
I saw the lineup yesterday and I'm like, Sal's getting an off day, and I'm like, oh wait, he's not playing.
Apparently he's hurt.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh no, okay.
He just plays in the most nothing market right now. I don't care about the Royals at all.
Yeah,
but there's your core going out saying like, if our season mattered more, we'd probably get vaccinated.
Yeah,
like,
and it's not just it's your core, it's your captain.
Yeah,
it's your de facto captain. That's like yeah.
Whit's got a decent contract on him too, doesn't he?
I think it's not terrible, but it's obviously
but like he's got a handful of years left, is what I mean.
No, I think he's played a lot longer than we think. I think he's like 30 something.
Jesus.
Well, actually, no, he came up super late. I think he came up when he was like 27, 28. Like, and as we're recording this, the Blue Jays
33.
I thought he was like 31, 32.
No, 33. Whit Merrifield. He's got a 4-year deal that ends in 2 years. So he's got 2 more years on this team.
He's 2 years a term. Like Whit Merrifield's a very valuable piece.
They're paying him $18 million in 2024. And that's a guy that's our season doesn't matter.
But then it's not just vac status with not being able to play in Toronto. No. Andrew Benintendi's market in the American League is dead.
Yep. Especially in the East.
The Yankees were in on him, not going to get him.
The Orioles, I feel like could have been a player in that market. Arguably, they're pushing to the point where
small thing. Can we just talk about the fact that that's a sentence that you can say now and it's not a joke?
It's unbelievable that those words have come out of my mouth after watching what they've
Orioles
done.
Too.
I don't want to do it.
No, here's the thing. If they were not, I think I've said this on Twitter. If they were not in the American League East, they would genuinely be my second favorite team.
Sure, probably. You're right. I think I wouldn't hate the stories. However,
Mullins.
The amount of beef they get into with the Jays.
Oh my God, Brandon Hyde.
Brandon Hyde's the worst.
That worst remain. Yeah, but
get your ass back on them.
I heard
get your back ass on them.
I heard the Brewers are now in on Andrew Benintendi, and I'm I didn't hear this 2 days ago.
No, well, because it's just the AL market's going to be dead, and
but
the Orioles are a team that could have been in on Benintendi, but they play a ton of games in Toronto in the last stretch there. Like a third of their games in the end are against the Jays in September.
Yeah, which is
you're not bringing in Benintendi if he can't play.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
So there goes your market for that. And you just admitted, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, I'm not
because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Stupidity, man. It's just
it's
so
ridiculous.
Tough. I feel bad for that front office too. It's these are guys we could have got something for.
Well, here's the thing. If you're Bobby Witt Jr., if you're Vinny Pasquantino, how do you feel about that?
I don't matter to you? Are we not?
Oh yeah, here's our captain, or Zach Greinke, for example, is here's the captain of the team being oh, we suck, so I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Just killed it.
Yeah.
Why?
It's I don't argue with people about getting vaccinated.
Oh,
it's not worth it. I think it's stupid. You're gonna have your opinion. You're gonna do your thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna try and talk science with you. It's not worth it.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's your choice is your choice, but don't expect you to not face some consequences.
Exactly. This is when you're required by your job to get it to go places, do it, man. This is a team atmosphere where everyone's counting on you and you're just not going to do it because, I don't think it's right. Even though 80% of the league has done it.
Yeah, if this was tennis, golf, or NASCAR or Formula One, you'd be
Novak Djokovic.
Not vaccinated. Novak Djokovic.
His choice. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do your thing. I don't respect him for it.
You get your medical exemptions, but
sure. Exactly. But that's whatever. You're not affecting anyone but yourself.
There's 25 other guys.
Exactly. Plus your coaching staff, plus your fan base.
Oh yeah. Speaking of coaching staff, I think there was 3 or 4 Royals coaching staff that didn't come up either. And it was
with Kansas City. I don't get it.
Home of barbecue and unvaccinated.
Apparently, holy shit.
And Patrick Mahomes.
They are a very American team though. They don't have a lot of.
But they're. Yeah.
That list is very Trump votey. In the nicest way to put it. I can tell you where their political stances lie without even knowing the person.
Yeah.
So hey,
it's what?
It is what it is.
We're not gonna get political here, but come on, Whit Merrifield.
It's not worth it.
Benintendi.
Stupid, just stupidity. The whole thing.
Yeah.
So
and then
they call up their minor league system. Their entire minor league system.
Let's go. Who is the pitcher? We don't know.
I don't. I still don't know the guy's name. That's how little I care.
I think it was Zerpa.
That sounds close.
Zippy?
At least
it was something with a Z. It was something with
Zippy
a Z.
Magoo comes up to pitch against the
Adrian McZipperton.
and
comes up, and we're just oh, okay,
cooks
all right.
us.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there. I'm all right. I went to the Kansas City lineup. I'm okay. I know you. You were here, leadoff guy. Bobby Witt Jr. I know you. Pasquantino. I just kind of found out about you. And I'm
I heard good things about their first baseman last night. I don't remember his name.
Prado. I only know him because of MLB The Show, and he has a Future Stars card. That's about it.
Okay, so then that's a piece that you're looking forward to. I guess if you're in Kansas
their top
City.
Prospect other than Bobby Witt.
But he shouldn't be here already.
Yeah,
is the point.
Their center fielder yesterday who had his first home run. He shouldn't be here.
Hits a home run.
His first career hits a home run off Anthony
Tank,
Banda, who throws a get me over changeup on 3-2. Yeah. We'll get to that later when we talk about trades.
Sure.
But
But yeah, you get beat by the
Twitter. Did you see Twitter last night after Bandy gave it the home run?
I didn't see a lot of it. No.
Oh, it was. You would have thought it was a month ago, and it was like, where's Romano? You was warming up. Where is he now, John? Like, I'm just like, okay, we're doing this already.
We're turning him on him now, eh?
It's day 2, and I'm like, I see people already like, breaking news: Pete Walker is the interim enter the Blue Jays. And I'm just like, all right, you know what? Cool.
I mean, I see why they made the move in the managerial spot, but hey, it's not going to be a magic overnight fix.
Oh yeah, like the
team is still struggling.
The team is still not at its full form, and it's hard to sweep 4-game series anyway. But
absolutely,
you wouldn't think that given what happened in Seattle, but it is hard to sweep 4 games.
It's hard.
Like
it's hard to sweep 3 games. It's hard to sweep series. Baseball is my favorite sport, but it's the
dumbest sport.
Dumbest sport, bro. Like it makes no sense. I mean, the Jays hit balls harder in that series than they did in the Philly series.
Yeah, like
their hard hit rate was significantly higher. Their average exit velocity was higher. They hit harder.
Yeah,
they struck out less. But it did not.
But like we said earlier, it was the Kevin Gausman start where it was just shift,
little ticky tack singles here and there. Manufacture some runs and then hit a tank shot against Banda. And
the amount of times that I have seen a ball go to the shortstop position, I'm like, all right, Bo's there, and I'm like, Matt Chapman's
not there.
Matt Chapman
picks it. And
Matt Chapman's like, no, not even that. I'm like, yeah, Matt Chapman either picks it or he's like to the left of him. I'm like, Matt Chapman, why are you behind the second base?
Yeah, it's just
small thing. That's why, like, you know how his defensive stats aren't as good this year.
Yeah,
because he's
shifted everywhere. He's playing shortstop.
He's not a third baseman anymore. He's a shortstop.
This is a fun conversation. How do you feel about the shift?
Okay, so the thing about the shift is, I love it until I don't.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. I think the thing with the shift, go for it.
The one that pisses me off the most is when you got a runner on first, and say Vlad's up, he hits a missile up the middle, and it's a double play.
Yeah,
and we're just like,
I hate it.
We're just like, come on.
Yeah, I hate it.
Like, what more do you want from him? He did 110.
I think the thing with me and the shift, especially defensively, it's one of those things where it's like you don't notice when it works.
Yeah.
When there's a guy behind the bag makes a play, it's like, oh, great, he made the play. But you notice when all of a sudden they poke a double through the infield on the left side because there's nobody there and it just rolls forever. Yeah. And you're like, well, why are we in the shift? And it's like, well, because you didn't notice the 3 plays last inning that helped us.
We as Blue Jays fans noticed it even more because the Blue Jays do it more than anybody in the league.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're going to get beat more. It's just how it is.
But the dumbest shift to me is the one that we've been doing this year of say it's a right-handed batter. The infield will shift over to the third base side, but the outfield will go the other way.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, they have the analytics to prove it, I guess. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I know more than what they're doing up there.
But then I'm like, okay, so the guy pokes it like just over Chapman's head. That's a damn. If he's quick enough, that's a triple.
It's a triple if you've got speed.
In ballparks,
yeah, it's an easy double. Like it's
an easy double. It's a stand-up double. It's a stand-up double for Alejandro Kirk.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it because it is like you have enough gap there where no one's getting to it and you're getting to 2 easily.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It doesn't help that Lourdes and Teo do the goddamn Charlie jog the ball.
Yeah, it's just oh man. But at least Lourdes has a little
can do it because he has a cannon.
Yeah. Teo kills me sometimes, man. I'm like, go, dude.
It's like he's just and we're like, you would think he's doing warm-ups.
Yeah, it's tough. Just like he's out there for BP, just like go pick this up.
Yeah, throw it back in. Here you go.
Kind of hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, shift is weird.
Shift is weird.
Hey, they're doing well tonight. That's all that matters.
Yeah, they're up 4-0. Manoah's pitching fine.
40 through 3 2/3. I don't mind that. I haven't missed all of it. I haven't actually been looking.
Yeah, I think I think the big one was a Teoscar home run, but I don't know how they got the other runs.
I think the best example of last night.
Another double play, but we're not gonna talk about
they were in the shift. They were in the shift, and it screwed the whole thing. I think the best thing that came out of yesterday, and you said it was actually hilarious. Yesterday was definitely the Blue Jays David Ayers game.
Oh, ridiculously, because you can't even say it was injuries. It's just
no,
because
just a stupid scenario.
It was a dumb scenario.
A team that shouldn't have been there.
Here's the thing. If this was here's the thing. If that was in say with the Leafs, it was the Leafs against Carolina. It was the fact that it was in Toronto
Yeah.
Also, that was like, say it was flipped and somehow the vaccinated players weren't in Kansas City.
Okay.
That game, we would have demolished them in that game. But it's the fact that it was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Toronto's got bad vibes when it's come to, they should win this, no problem.
Yeah. Like, the games that you should win in Toronto never get won.
Never.
It doesn't
like
happen.
You'll get one in like 12 of those.
No. I watched the Raptors lose to the last place OKC Thunder this year. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I was there and I'm like,
forget the Thunder.
Neat.
The Detroit Pistons are a nightmare for
us. They
we beat them one time since Dwayne Casey's been their head coach. Like I'm it sounds like I made that up, but I don't think it's far off.
I'm pretty sure I don't even know if they beat them once. Honestly, I cannot recall a time where it's happened. But it's just weird. Things just don't go well in Toronto. It's cursed. Man. The whole city, the city is cursed, dude.
It's
because it not even just sports. Like there was 2 months ago where Bieber had to cancel his concert in Toronto because weird like nerve things went down.
Yeah,
and then the weekend comes to Toronto and the Rogers outage happens.
Bro, I'm not gonna say I didn't have tickets to that, but like I tried to get tickets for that, but it got sold out. And
Thank God you didn't.
I feel bad for everybody.
Yeah, it sucks. It's so brutal. And then on top of that, Shawn Mendes was supposed to be here this weekend. He canceled his concert.
Bro,
it's cursed. The city's cursed.
The city ain't it. City's not the greatest right now, you should say.
It's just the city's cursed. Doesn't matter what we're talking about. The city of Toronto's cursed.
Yeah. Brutal. I'm sorry, I'm just looking at the Jays game and they have a Kevin Biggio highlight reel right now. Running nice. Like, yeah, it's
nice.
All right. Nice. But like that's whatever.
Where were we? 4-0. Great. Yeah, it's good. The bullpen hasn't came in yet. So we haven't had anything to worry about.
That's the thing of last night's game, why it killed so much is because tomorrow is a bullpen game.
Yeah. Is it Max Castillo? Have they
said it's like 90. They said it's like 80% that it's Max Castillo, but like I'm not calling Max Castillo. Like,
no, he's not a starter.
He's a starter he was a starter in AAA, but he's not gonna go 6 innings.
No,
like he's going.
He's not a depth guy. Like he gets up to
5 and 5.
If he hits 75 pitches, you're like, okay, that's good, but you're not getting a lot of
pitch. It's not an innings count; it's a pitch count. Like throw 75 pitches, keep the runs down.
Yeah, do your job and hope to God you have enough arms in that pen right now. The thing with this bullpen right now, I don't even hate it that much. Like a lot of people are just bashing it, but there's guys.
The thing about the bullpen bashing is like it became a new thing. It didn't help that Yimi Garcia wasn't here.
Yeah.
So you had Raimel Tapia get gunned out trying to go for a double.
That's
but you had guys like Trent Thornton, Matt Gage, who were getting like the 7th and 8th inning. And like
respectfully for both of them, Trent Thornton did such a great job as the low leverage guy. Phenomenal.
Is an underrated low leverage guy.
Phenomenal low leverage guy. And now, I don't think he should be your setup, man. And like that was a role he was in at one point.
No,
but he was putting up at one point. He had like a 3.5 ERA in the low leverage spot where you're just sending meatballs because you want to get through the game. Yeah, and I'm like, that's respectable.
Also, shout out Matt Gage, who had like a 1.3 ERA up here
and got sent down.
They sent him down
for Anthony Banda.
And we're just like, hey, I guess.
Sure. Like, it's just, but yeah, like you bring up a guy like Matt Gage, and like that's a piece you can use. And Jimmy Garcia has been phenomenal.
Yeah, and then
you
bring up a guy like Max Castillo, who in your Kikuchi starts has been a savior.
Unbelievable. He's like kept you in every game that he's been in, other than that Yankees
game against Milwaukee. Like went like 4
innings.
7 Ks and
crazy. Like he started that last game that he started there, and he was great.
He gave up 3 hits in 4.4.
Yeah, it wasn't much. It was a home run, and that was it. It was nothing. And it's one of those games you're like, well, it's a bullpen game. We're screwed, and he saved it.
He gave us literally half the game.
Exactly.
He's like, here's the other half. Go win it.
Exactly. He said, no, they don't do that. But. Nope. But that's where you're running into trouble. I think the problem is they have a lot of relievers that do the exact same thing.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Well, actually, I think they don't have enough. They have relievers that do everything.
Yeah, like they don't. Hold on. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like they have. I'm way far away from my mic right now.
That's okay.
My computer. They have like they don't. What was it? Who were we playing the series before? Seattle. Mm-hmm. They have 4 guys who are just. Jesus. Sorry for the mic. They have 4 guys that just go, all right, here's 100 with a 93-mile-an-hour slider.
I don't even remember who his name was, but he threw up. He stepped up there and he was throwing a hunch and then dropped like an 87-mile-an-hour slider. And I'm like, Yeah, that was it.
Andres Munoz. Bro, small tangent. Munoz, France, Brash, and Torrens, all on the Padres in 2020. They traded them. They traded all of them for.
Was that what's his name?
Austin Nola.
Oh, that's so much worse than I was
expecting. It was like Nola and like another pitcher.
Oh,
all of them were on the Padres in the lockout season.
Oh, that hurts. Season. That hurts so much.
Like,
but the Padres are still so good. That's such a stupid team.
Yeah, but back to the fact that like the Blue Jays bullpen. Yeah. You have Romano, who's like your flamethrower, but he on a bad day he throws 94.
Yeah.
With
on an average day he's pumping 96.
96. And then you get Simber, who's the side armor that doesn't strike anybody out and just gives up contact. And we're just like, okay. Mesa, who is up and down at the moment, he's had two good things. He's had two good appearances since. And then
Trevor Richards, who is, I don't know, like
he looked good against the Phillies.
He looked great against the Phillies. Top of the lineup too.
Yeah, with Schwarber, Hoskins, Castellanos, and got all of them. Like
on three Ks. And like they didn't even come close.
Like, but then
that's where it gets frustrating.
But it's all of like there's no guy, other than Romano. Who's the guy in the bullpen that throws like 98? Other than him,
even Romano's not that guy most of the time.
Romano had like the Oakland game where he went back to April Romano pumping 98 with
a
dirty slider.
Yeah,
but other than that, there's nothing.
You don't wait. Where is our Munoz? Why do we not have one?
Where is our Munoz? Where is our?
Why does everybody else have these guys? Where do we find them?
Where's our I know he was kind of bad the last time they used him. Where's our Jonathan Loaizaga?
Yeah.
Where's our guy who's pumping 98 sinkers?
Just because. Like, why don't we have one of them?
Because I can do the thing.
There's no one in the minors that you're looking at to do that.
The one guy that you were looking at as like a potential piece to bring up this year was Adrian Hernandez. Because he had that Devin Williams like change.
Yeah. But again, he's not a hunch. Like he's not throwing that.
And also Scott Mitchell came out with it, I think it was yesterday. It was like, oh yeah, he had like a pin, like something, like an undisclosed injury that he's been out for like the last 2 weeks and no idea when he's coming back.
Fuck. Great.
Like
just great. Great.
Oh my god,
all our savior pieces aren't even ready.
You know what? We had 2 savior pieces that were throwing a hunch, and they are they're ghosts.
If they would just relax and throw Nate in
Pearson and Julian goddamn Merriweather, who we had for what was that? The Yankees game was a
my god. That was so great. That whole series.
I have never seen a dirtier changeup.
Oh my god.
Lefty than the one he threw to Aaron Hicks.
I will always remember Julian Merriweather as that guy. It doesn't matter how bad he is from here on out. He will always be the guy that just embarrassed Yankees hitters in that series.
On opening day. It was.
Oh my god. Back-to-back days.
Bro.
Just
and then you get the Nate Pearson ones where like for every he struck out the side against the A's last year. And I think in that 4-game sweep of the Yankees, he closed one of those games.
Yep.
Pumping 102 on the corner.
He looked phenomenal. That Rays series that we had in that fake season where they made the playoffs.
Basically, when the game didn't count anymore, and he just went 2 innings and 5 Ks.
Just dominated everyone. I'm like,
bro,
that's the guy. That's your closer.
His MLB debut, he went toe-to-toe with Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
And was good.
Yeah.
But then
so frustrating, and I think they got to stop trying to make him a starter. Personally, I think he can't handle it.
I don't even think they were this year.
They stretched him out a little bit because he got hurt when he was starting. I know that because he started that game.
When they were bringing him back, I think the most he went was like an inning and a third.
Yeah, so then it's not even. I don't even know what the issue is. He's just a Band-Aid.
Oh, he's glass.
Yeah.
He and Merriweather are glass.
Yep.
Some
guys are just like that, right? It's the Derrick Rose of baseball. Like, just should have been great and didn't have it.
Should have, yeah, man.
Sucks. It sucks. I really wish Nate could figure it out.
Yeah, because if one of them figures it out, that is one less bullpen piece that the team has to get.
Yeah. Man, if you have Nate Pearson and Jordan Romano sandwiching Adam Simber type,
and Adam Simber become if Jimmy Garcia becomes like your 6th inning dude.
Mm-hmm. You're so much deeper.
You can go Garcia, Mesa, Pearson, Romano, and you're just sitting there glad as
you're laughing.
Can be. You're laughing. And then you still didn't use Phelps and Simber the next, and you can use them the next day. And
now you're more rested is the other thing on that. It's like you have these guys that aren't pitching every day.
Yeah, that is a big thing about the bullpen though. They got overworked to shit
so quickly. Because they weren't bad in April and May. They were good.
It was like last year. They were amazing, but they got overworked because starting pitching, Kikuchi
didn't have it.
Like
even Barrios didn't have it.
Barrios hurt.
Ryu didn't have it to start. He was hurt.
And he got Tommy John, and he's gone now. You have Ross Stripling and Ross Stripling was in the bullpen.
Ross Stripling's your bullpen guy. Now you have to use him as a starter. It's like this bullpen is warped.
Yeah,
it is what it is. I don't think they're as bad as they've been. I don't know.
No, they're not like 5th worst in the league.
No. And honestly, as a whole, they're not even like individually, they're not even that bad.
Yeah, it's just
one guy a day just blows an inning and you're like, well, that sucks.
Yeah,
it's consistent.
Your Bandas, your Hatches, your Lawrences.
Mm-hmm. But then Banda will come in and be okay in other appearances.
Yeah, like Sergio Romo's.
Even so, Romo was great from when we got him until that,
and then he gave up the
extra inning 3-run shot.
Yeah, who, by the way, found out today he was mic'd up during that game.
Really?
He was mic'd up for Apple. It was him and Manoah. It was hilarious.
Ugh, that's tough. But that's one of those things. It's like I like Sergio Romo. I think he's been great. But there's a scenario where he comes out in his appearance and gives up the 3-run tank to win it. And that's the only thing you remember. It's like, man, he's been terrible.
And then you remember last year against Oakland, and we're like, right, Simeon hit the fucking dang job off of you.
I don't think Sergio Romo's a piece that should be in a good bullpen.
No,
but he's been good as a piece in this bullpen, and I think that's all you need.
I think it was someone like came out today that was talking to Sergio Romo, and he was like, Sergio, who do you want? Like, who would be a good piece for this team? And he's like, David Robertson. I'm like, great, that's actually really good. And then someone comments, police. It's like Sergio does realize he'd be TFA to get that piece, right?
Like, I mean, he is the next piece out the door, I think.
Yeah, him or Banda. Like,
yeah, I guess Banda's probably gone first.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not opposed to Richards either. Like,
oh, bro, Rich, like,
hey, if he is what he is against the Phillies, then whatever.
If he is like 70% of that Phillies game,
he's great.
I will be laughing.
Yeah, Trevor Richards last year was phenomenal. Like, he was a piece I liked seeing coming.
Him and Simber came in and like helped the bullpen in what we are in now in crisis mode.
Exactly, they were like locked down when we needed it, and it was great. Now they both kind of starting to falter a little bit.
Yeah, but
Richards obviously more than Simber.
But if we're being honest, Simber shouldn't be our 8th inning guy.
No, he should be like a
have saves this year.
No, that's so brutal.
Like he can lead the league in wins for all I care. He should not have 4 saves this year.
No.
Like,
anytime your closer's throwing like 80, it hurts. Oh man, it hurts. Your closer should throw almost 100 every time. Doesn't matter who you are. We just don't have one. Even Jordan. I love Jordan. Topped out at 100 last year. Does not have
guy. Gets the light, gets the music.
Oh, it's so cool. It's my favorite part of every game.
I had to film the entire thing.
It's so cool. I'm so glad they did that. It was such a great upgrade to the stadium.
Oh, bro, did you see obviously you watched the opening day, but they had like the festivity thing where they had like the audio wave, and it's just like, Chapman's like, I heard this place gets pretty loud, guys, and then it's just and it just blows up on the
screen. They did such a great job, and they took like the little screen of where it used to be, and it just expanded it into the whole thing. It's like, whoa.
I didn't realize how tiny the old screen was
until then. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, they just added like when I first got them, I'm like, oh, they still add little things on the sides. And I was like, oh.
Oh, no, it's big.
No, they did that.
She big this year.
She biggin.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Unreal. I like it. It's fun. It's a really fun atmosphere this year. I enjoy going.
Yeah.
What do we got still? Do you want to talk about potential deadline upgrades?
Stuff? Like, there's a couple like articles that I saw regarding relievers, and I'm just like, one of them was Daniel Bard, and I'm like, okay, that's been a name that we've heard for 2 years, but apparently the Rockies aren't selling. Like, Colorado, get it together.
The Rockies are a dong show, dude.
Another name, not going to do it anymore because they're 2 games behind us. Jorge Lopez.
Like, that whole Orioles bullpen you could have looked at, but now they're good.
Where's our Felix Bautista?
I don't know.
Throwing 100 with a 92
we don't have it.
Splitter.
We've been over this. We don't have them.
Yeah,
I don't know why. We don't have them.
And then there's like there's like Michael Fulmer, Scott Barlow, who closed us yesterday. Like,
sure.
Bednar, who's not gonna.
I don't think Barlow can be a future Blue Jay because he didn't blow it. He doesn't fit in here.
It's very true. He's dominant.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. Just doesn't work. He's way too good to be here.
Yeah, and then like you got the
David Bednar is one I've heard a lot.
David, the thing is, David Bednar, he's too much. Like, it's gonna cost you an arm. He still has like 5 years of control.
That's fucked.
Like,
yeah, you're not
getting him. If
I'm not giving up plus prospects for a bullpen arm.
For a bullpen arm, bullpen is like the shakiest thing year to year.
Yeah, if I'm looking for bullpen help, it's a 1-year guy that's going to come in, get the job done, and go.
It's a Daniel Robertson, like or
David. David Robertson. It's an Adam Simber, like comes in, does great, and that's it.
Get for pennies on the dollar.
Exactly. Like give me not like I don't even mind the DFA pickups.
Yeah.
Try it. If it doesn't work, see you later.
Bye. You can be DFA'd again.
Yeah.
Like, but then, but yeah, if I'm giving up like our plus prospects, it's you give me Luis Castillo, you give me Frankie Montas.
Absolutely. Like, I want the big boys. I would love to see Luis Castillo on this team come August.
I've wanted this man on our team for the last 3 years, even though I know we haven't been good.
Yeah. I've been a big Luis Castillo guy for a long time, and it's just like he obviously fell off for a minute there.
Yeah, it was.
He looks like he's back.
Last year, he started that season so bad, but then
came around.
Honestly, it was Barrios.
Yeah,
he was so bad at the beginning, but and his numbers at the end of the year, you're like, but he was like
but he was great in the back half.
He was like a 3.2 ERA for like back half of the year. We're like,
you take that.
You take that from like.
I look at what Luis Castillo did against the Yankees yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah, but then now the Yankees are going to be like, all right, here's all of our guys go. Pitch against us.
We don't want anyone doing that to us, but I want to be the team that does that to them.
Yes.
I want a Luis Castillo dominating them, no hitting them for 6 innings. Like, give me that guy.
I'm just going to point out Luis Castillo throws harder than anybody in our bullpen.
Yeah, that's
we're back to the bullpen. Not going to think about it anymore. Like
O'Neal Cruz throws harder than our bullpen.
That man is a mutant.
I don't get it. How are you 6'7" at shortstop?
Yeah, someone put it plainly. He is he's the size of Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Throws as hard or harder than Dylan Cease's fastball. Like, hits the ball as hard as Stanton.
It runs as fast as Tyreek. Faster than Tyreek Hill. Like
Pittsburgh.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. He's an alien.
Pittsburgh shouldn't trade anybody. Stop. You can
an alien.
That's an alien.
He's an alien. There's no way that guy's human. I don't get it.
Here's how him being tall is like abnormal. He busted a dude's tooth with his helmet yesterday because on a pop-up slide.
Oh my god.
It was against he literally slid in and like
his head was
Miguel Rojas of the Marlins. His head was like this, and then it just went douche, and we're like, Jesus. I'm like, oh. I don't know how you can be 6'7" and pick ground balls. That's so far down to the ground. Yeah, and then but like on the 98 mile an hour throw, I saw someone that was like he takes forever to throw the ball, and I'm like, you can when you throw.
Doesn't matter. Exactly. Like, it's like the Manny Machado back in his glory days. It's like he just take his time and just missile.
Yeah. Like
it didn't matter. It's just I am so jealous of those guys. I wish I had that arm when I was playing.
I'm going to ask you a very serious question. And I think you will go on a tangent about this.
Okay.
Luis Castillo.
Yep.
For Gabriel Moreno.
Done.
Yes or no?
Done. In a heartbeat. Like I don't even think
Gabe
about
Moreno. Love you, buddy.
I think Gabby's going to be an incredible ball player.
Gabby is going to be great. If you do,
that's fine.
Blues, if you do trade him, do not get him in the NL.
I don't want him. I don't want to play against Gabby, but I am fine giving up Gabby because you have him in Kirk already. Is the way I see it.
Oh my god, you do.
You Kirk is just an older Gabby right now.
The only thing that Gabby has on Kirk, well, he has two things.
Gabby's got a better arm.
Gabby has a way better arm, and Gabby has average speed. He has
he's actually you're right. He's a lot quicker.
He has typical position player speed.
Like
he's
which is something rare out of a catcher.
But
the
thing is
that is a bit of an advantage, but you don't need that, man, out of your catcher. I'm like I'm not looking for my catcher to steal bags.
And for example, if Danny Jansen becomes your backup catcher, Like, you're laughing.
Exactly. Like, that's an elite defender. Like, the stats aren't always there for him, but like the way he blocks balls, the way he calls a game, like his ability to control base runners.
He found offense.
And he just rakes. Like, I don't get it. Like, I love Gabby. I think he's going to be great. But yeah, ship him off in a heartbeat if it's for Luis Castillo. I just don't think Gabby helps the championship run in the next 2, maybe. Yeah, I don't
think he's, and I'm not going to say like I've sour on him since he came up.
No.
But like,
he had a good start.
He had a great, bro. He had 3 hits against the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
he's young too. He's going to learn. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I don't need him to figure it out while we're trying to win a World Series.
I didn't realize, but I didn't like. People were like, "Yeah, he doesn't hit for a lot of power," and I'm like, I didn't realize. I'm like, oh,
he hits for no power.
You had 1 double.
Yeah, he hits like for 15 no power.
Like,
yeah,
dude.
I feel like I think it was the same.
And the 1 double he did it was the hustle double against the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Who had
like
Luis
it's
Robert,
not a double hit.
Luis Robert pulling a Teoscar like in center field.
Yeah,
like
I like Gabby. I think he's a good piece. I think he's great defensively. He's going to be a great catcher, great contact hitter. But I don't think he's what the Jays need.
Yeah, but
in the next couple years.
And as far as like starting pitching goes, there's other options there, but like they're not like a name that we heard in the offseason or like early in April was Pablo Lopez for Teoscar Hernandez before the season started.
Yeah.
Someone put it plainly. It was supposed to be, I think it was Teoscar and prospects.
Okay.
And like 1 or 2 prospects for Pablo Lopez and Brian Anderson. And someone put it plainly, it's like, would you rather have Teoscar, like, was it Teoscar, Chapman, or Pablo Lopez and Brian Anderson?
That's tough.
You
need the pitching.
we need to take the Teoscar glasses off for a second.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think that's clouding a lot of my judgment because I do really like Teoscar.
Yeah, like insane.
I like Teoscar the person.
Oh, Teo's a legend, but like, I'm not gonna say Brian Anderson's like great, but like,
no.
If you told me our rotation coming into this year was actually no, someone put it better. It was you'd rather have Chapman, Teoscar, and Kikuchi.
Yeah.
Because that's who Pablo Lopez would have taken the spot of.
Yeah, you're right.
If we got Pablo Lopez, we would not have signed Yusei Kikuchi. And we would have went out and big brain shock theory, get a Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah.
If we don't have Teoscar anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Instead of a Matt Chapman, you go get a Kyle Schwarber.
Schwarber didn't sign for that much, right? Like his deal's not terrible. I don't remember what it was.
I think it was 4 years.
Yeah, I can handle that.
That's a handle for a guy that's now hitting 28 home runs.
Yeah, he fits in so well. Not a great defender, ton of pop.
Right,
like just made sense.
He's a beefy dude. Blue Jays like those.
Yeah,
like they got.
Yeah, I think he would have been. He would have been well liked around here.
Like just the beef boys.
It is what it is. Yeah, I don't know. Pablo Lopez would have looked great in the rotation. Yeah.
And then,
hey, as we say this though, Teoscar's got a 3-run shot tonight.
Yeah, like Teoscar's. So as we say this, like Teoscar since coming back off the IL, been really good.
Yeah, I just find like he doesn't have the consistency that he had last year.
Well, he didn't get hurt. Well, actually, no. He had COVID last year for a little bit. Like,
yeah, but that didn't that's not going to wreck you. Like the oblique thing sucks,
bro. And it was the fact that it was literally opening weekend. It was Danny Jansen, home run leader. Oblique.
Yeah.
Yankee series.
Oh, everyone good got oblique.
2 games later, oblique.
Yeah.
And we're just like, we got Raimel Tapia and Heineman now playing regular games every day. And we're just like, oh.
Honestly, Tyler Heineman became one of my favorite catchers quick.
He's a magician.
The magician.
He's a magician.
Once they posted that video of him doing magic tricks, I'm like, I'm done. This is my guy.
I don't want you to get. And then the Danny Jansen thing also gave us the legend that is Zach Collins.
Yeah, like Zach Collins. I despised Zach Collins for like a week, and then he's just like, fuck it, I'm raking.
All right, I'm hitting nothing but doubles and homers.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm in on Zach.
And then he came back down to earth, and we're like, all right, Danny Jansen, can you come back now?
I'm pretty sure the last game that Zach Collins was in, he hit a double too. Like it's not like,
like
he's not that bad.
Like Like I saw Zach Collins a bit, like because I watched the White Sox, but like he wasn't good.
No.
But then you realize you got him in exchange for Reese McGuire, and it's like, oh, okay, you're fine.
Reese wasn't going to play on this team.
Yeah, it's the third catcher. Like Reese McGuire, you only like Reese McGuire because he was a lefty, and then you just get him.
Yeah,
and he's
great defensively. Really good defensive catcher. But
like
you definitely miss that with Zach Collins, but you don't need that if Jano's healthy.
Yeah, but like also we're obviously Blue Jay centric, but Reese McGuire has had to play so much baseball this year with the White Sox because Grandal's been out.
Oh, true.
Like he's had to play so much.
Great when he was in too, so it was one of those things that you're like, well,
haven't been great. Like,
no, everyone on that team was been disappointing for pretty much except for TA.
Except for TA and Jose Abreu, who's like,
and TA was hurt, so it's just like
someone. No, I think the White Sox leader in home runs.
Yeah,
is 10. Is 10. Oh. Like Danny Jansen has
Robert's got to be getting there then, right?
It was Jose Abreu who has like 10. Danny Jansen has 7.
He's played like 20
and
games.
He's played like 20 games.
Like, that alone is nuts. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Like Raimel Tapia has 4. Or 3.
Oh, that puts a lot in perspective. Yeah, that's
like
just...
Raimel Tapia has 3 or 4. Kirk has 10. Actually, yeah, that puts Kirk has 10, and Kirk's like 5th on the team. like,
oh my God.
Matt Chapman has 14.
Yeah, Matt Chapman it's a bomb or a strikeout. There's no
or
a deep fly. It's warning track power or a nuke. There's no.
But only in places that he used to play like consistently in. Mm-hmm. He has 11 home runs at home and 3 on the road, but he has 1 on the road technically because 2 of them came in Oakland. Like,
and he also has the only upper deck home run this year.
Oh yeah, the 5. Yeah, like
makes no sense. I wish he was more consistent.
Yeah, and then like the last, like the one other piece that we could talk about is I guess the left-handed hitting, because apparently that's like a big thing again. Yeah, because the offense has been poop.
Yep.
Like, and then there's the obvious ones like Ian Happ, and like
I think the thing with lefties in this team, it's just like they don't face lefties all that much, and they don't hit very well when they come in. That's what I mean.
Lefties. Like,
so I'm not worried about left-handed hitters as much as other people are, I think, because like we stink against lefties.
I think the people like ranting about the need for left-handed bat is because you look at the left-handed bats on the team and the best one is Kevin Biggio.
Yeah.
And I love Kevin.
I love Kev.
But like,
no, that should not be the case.
I have Kevin Biggio stand in my Twitter bio. Like Kevin's the guy.
Cav will be talked about many times in the history of this podcast. I promise you.
Dude, we will tell you this right now. I promise you. Kevin Biggio, Danny Jansen, and personally Jose Abreu will be talked about.
Oh, I love Barrios. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on all 3. I love all 3 of them. But I will go to bat for all 3 of them every day of the week.
Our best left-handed bat is Kevin Biggio, and on a good day, Raimel Tapia, which we need to talk about. Yeah, we technically won that trade.
Yeah.
Say that now. We have won the
Tapia trade. Yeah, what Gritch I saw he was tanking. Yeah.
Like, hold up.
Hey, but Gritch was a gorgeous man.
Gritch is a gorgeous man when you need a double play. I'll say that.
Yeah, he looks good doing it.
Like, okay.
He wasn't. I don't know.
Gritch is batting .247 with like 9 home runs and 40 RBI, but he has an OPS of 681.
Ooh.
And he's a -2 WAR. He's -0.2 WAR, not -2, -0.
Okay, -0.2 is not as bad. It's still not
as
good.
bad, but it's like, bro, you're playing in Colorado.
You can stomach it,
mashing.
But... Yeah.
Like those are his numbers. Like, and remember, like it's April and May Randall Grichuk, and we're now in July, so it's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so he's coming back down to where he normally is.
Yeah, but like,
yeah, I mean, I hated the Tapia acquisition at first, but like he's growing on me. I think he's fine.
Like I hated it because literally there was a video that got put out that Raimel Tapia is the best worst player in baseball.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if you think about his stats, he hits the ball hard as shit into the dirt.
Yep.
It had the 67% ground ball rate.
He's 2019 Vlad. Like not as good. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
he's a less powerful, slightly faster 2019 Vlad.
Yeah. Just like drive everything as hard as you possibly can into the dirt.
And you can't. You have speed, but you can't beat it out because you hit it 110 in the floor.
It's already there. You're not beating it out.
Yeah,
he doesn't beat out a lot of ground balls. It's weird for the guy that has so much speed. I find it strange
because there's like left-handed bats. There's a person that is currently playing in the National League that a couple months ago I would have died to get, and now I'm just like, I don't know where you fit. Is Josh Bell.
Yeah.
I would have loved Josh Bell.
Heard a lot of Josh Bell.
But then, like, given recent circumstances where it's like D8, you have to DH. Danny, this was when Danny James was gone, and it was kind of like out of sight.
Made a little bit of sense.
It made a little bit. It's like, okay, Kirk's catching. You can have your rotating thing of you can stick Josh Bell in the outfield occasionally, which but like you can D8 when you do Springer D8. Well, actually, you can't even do that. Holy, I'm going to talk myself out of a conversation I had a month ago with myself. All right, never mind.
Yeah, it's just the trouble with this team too is I always think about it. I'm like, hey, you could bring in a guy to DH, but like the amount of times that guys need to DH in this team, it's just Kirk are your
DHs.
Like, and Vlad, like even using Vlad.
That's and Kevin gets to play first base.
Exactly.
He's actually
like I'd much rather prefer them just rotating through those spots. Like I've had the same conversation too. It's like I don't mind bringing in a DH, but I don't think it helps.
Yeah, it doesn't. Like
I don't think you get a DH that's better than a combination of Springer, Kirk, and Vlad.
Yeah. And then, but then you also got to think about it. If one of them's DHing, you then throw in the Tapia or Biggio thing. And if Raimel Tapia is a guy that hits 260, but like off the bench as your fourth,
I'm pumped because he plays decent defense.
If Kevin Biggio can.
Yo, speaking of Matt Chapman.
I just saw it. Oh my god.
What did I say, man? It's either a nuke or it's a warning track fly ball. There's no in between.
Bro. All right, that's okay. 7-1 Blue Jays. All right. But yeah, if Kevin Biggio, the stat that we saw earlier, that our good friend Zach, like we need to talk about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
It was it was like OPS.
I'll pull it up. Don't you worry.
OPS in the late innings, and the top two. Wow.
All right. So Mitch Bannon tweeted out a pair of Blue Jays have been quietly clutch this year. MLB's top 3 OPS in 7th or later inning, minimum 20 plate appearances. Also, I'm shocked Jano has 20.
In the 7th or later. Yeah, that's
nuts. Number 1, Danny freaking Jansen. 1.186.
It ain't tricking if you got it. And he, in the 7th inning or later,
he got it. Number 2. Everyone's favorite player to hate sometimes. Our favorite player to love. Kevin Biggio.
Kevin, goddamn Biggio.
1.132. Now, number 3 on this list, you might have heard of him.
Convention. Yeah, little like kind of guy making some waves in baseball this year.
You might have heard his name once or twice. He's on a damn good team.
He's the reason a kid cried at Rogers Center one time.
He made a kid cry at Rogers Center. I also watched him throw a ball at a girl's head in the crowd. Hilarious.
Yes, but
it was not as bad as I'm going to make it sound, but he just hucked this thing and bounced it off of this girl's head, and it was great.
MVP frontrunner Aaron Judge.
MVP frontrunner Aaron Judge. 1.103.
Like that's ridiculous.
So like there's a name that doesn't deserve to be amongst these ones, and it's definitely Aaron Judge.
It's definitely Aaron Judge. He's too tall.
He's not nothing like
doesn't have any facial hair.
He's just like he's not that guy.
Doesn't wear the weird flip up glasses like Kevin does sometimes.
Like he's not that guy.
He's not the guy.
He's not the guy.
But like, oh boy,
that's crazy. I laugh when I got tagged in that. I'm like, that's the greatest thing I've seen all day. That made my whole day.
Oh, it did. Like I was sitting, bro. I saw the it was one that came out a while ago by MLB, like the MLB Twitter page. Kevin Biggio has like the 5th. I saw it was something to do also with the late, like 7th inning or later. Kevin Biggio's tied for 5th in slugging percentage in the 7th.
Yeah, he's nuts. They show it all the time at the games. They pop it up on the little side screen. It's just like Kevin Biggio in the 7th inning or later. And I'm like, those are like MVP numbers.
And I'm like, hey, Kevin, can you do this through innings 1 through 6? Please?
Yeah, where are you, dude?
Where's the slugging percentage in inning 3? Because you hit 9th now.
He's only got ice in his veins is the problem. It's just he needs that clutch situation.
It's sad. Like, man.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, I do want to mention, I think Bradley Zimmer has the best job in baseball.
Oh, he's living my dream.
Literally. He just sits on the bench, watches 8 innings, goes to play outfield every now and then.
Brad, you're in.
Yeah. Kirk gets on in the 8th and you're like, go, Brad. And he goes to run. Right.
It's just run. Go to the 9th. Hey, I catch 2 fly balls and I get paid. And I'm just like, you know what? It's a good life.
Brad takes so much heat when he goes into, and I'm like, how do you hate on Brad? Like, it's just he's not good. I get it.
You can hate him the second he gets a bat in his hand. Other than that,
sure. Even then, I'm just like so neutral. It's like, hey, he's
then
part of the
like
team.
A 1 in a million miracle where he goes upper deck against Tampa Bay.
I don't remember what game I was at. They won the game, but Brad had 2 doubles. I remember before the game, I'm like, Brad's gonna do something stupid and hit a home run or something.
Was it?
And then he went out and doubled twice.
Was it? Did you go to one of the Boston games in Toronto?
I did, but it wasn't that one.
Because I think it was.
Oh, maybe it might have been.
I don't know if it was that game where he had 2 doubles, but I think he was the guy. No, he wasn't the guy on when Springer did Springer thing. Shoot.
I'm gonna find it. I gotta know. But like he does that.
He was the guy that scored the first run in the inning. It was the Raimel Tapia walk-off game, I think, is where he had 2 doubles.
Was Cincinnati.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh God.
They won 2-1. He had 2 doubles, a run, no RBI still, but 2 doubles. And a hit by pitch. Guy wore one for the team.
Oh no,
that was next game. Never mind. Hey, I don't mind Brad. I think he's fine. He's not great. He's such a great 5th outfielder.
Bro, he's your 5th outfielder. If you're complaining about Bradley Zimmer being your 5th outfielder, we have bigger problems.
Exactly. I'm like I no issues with Brad. It's fine.
Brad's a bit of a horse face, but
Actual final topic.
Yes.
Before we go, the All-Star jerseys came out. We talked about them on Twitter a little bit.
Yes,
I fucking love them.
The National League one,
I know you like the National League one.
It's so nice.
It's beautiful. The color scheme is beautiful.
Yeah, I'm not a big gray guy. So
I am a huge gray guy.
The American League one was like, bro, I'm not a giant gray guy. I'm made a vow. I will I will buy a Canada Day one before I buy a gray jersey for the Blue Jays.
Really? Yeah, I don't like the Jays grays. I think it's the worst jersey they have.
The Jays grays are terrible.
I hate them. I don't like them at all. And there's a bunch of people that think it's their best jersey. I don't get it. I've had the conversation with multiple people. They're like, "Oh, it's the best one." I'm like,
"This one exists."
That's what I said. I'm like, it's the new blue, and then it's the regular blue, and then it's the white, and then it's the reds.
It's the red depending on the day,
and then it's the grays. I mean, if they were successful in the reds would probably move up.
Oh yeah, but it's the thing is for every Vladdy screaming Canada, I love you. There's a shelling. And
there's a Kevin Gausman wearing one on the foot.
Yeah, but then you get the Steve Pierce walk off. That's Steve Pierce.
Just the stupidest things that happen.
Notice the most equal trade in MLB history. Steve Pierce.
Yeah, it's such a nice. That's wild. It worked out so well for both teams.
He won the World Series MVP.
Worked out a little better for Boston. I'm not gonna lie,
they got a World Series MVP out of it.
But in terms of where we were at and where we are now with it, I think it was great. But yeah, I love the jerseys. Yeah. Both sides. I like both of them. I think it's great with the gray and gold and the white and gold. It looks so nice.
Here's my thing. I wish they would have let us in the blue. If you want to get a Blue Jays one, you can only get them in gray. If you could get
you could get one in both. I see what you mean.
If you could get one in both, I would be all over that.
Yeah, you get the white Blue
I
Jays
would jokingly, one. I shit you not, I will jokingly get a Kevin Biggio jersey. I will get a custom Kevin Biggio All-Star jersey. I do not care. But I will stick it up on this wall. I think
you might be able to do that. If you go to the MLB shop.
I've looked. You can on MLB Shop. You can do custom.
They don't let you custom.
You can do custom.
That'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Get a white one with Biggio on it. Don't worry about who's on the front.
Yeah,
it'll be hanging the whole time.
Kevin Biggio, Atlanta Braves.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect.
Final small thing.
Yeah.
Back a month ago, when Ozzie Albies went out with injury, there were multiple Brave sites that were like second base potential trade deadline candidates. Kevin Biggio, and I'm like. And I would hate that.
Yeah. I don't think we'd sell Cav to the Braves is my only thing.
Yeah.
It's like you're not giving us anything back that we need.
Cavin's become too important.
Yeah. He's just even if he's not great with the bat, he can play so many positions. It's just you need him. You need someone like that.
Thank you for bringing this up because I did how Savant has all the outfield stuff. I genuinely I can't remember what it was. First 3 years, he was in the 30th percentile of outs above average. He's over 80th percentile this year for outs above average.
Jesus. Yeah,
Kevin Biggio's good now at defending.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Don't quote me on this, but I think he's only got a couple errors, which we went from leading the league last year in errors to nothing.
I think we're sixth in the league in outs above average. Like,
yeah, nuts. I think third base is just the moon to Kevin Biggio, and that killed him.
Oh god, yeah. And
but
then
like he's an above
neck.
Oh yeah, everything else just didn't help. I think he's an above average second baseman. This gets heat every time I say it. I think he's a better technical first baseman than Vladimir Guerrero. I don't think he's a better defender, but I think technically as a first baseman, he's better.
If you just need a guy to stick the glove out and just
he plays the position better, but Vlad is better at first.
But Kevin will not do the bases loaded against the Yankees splits to win.
No. But I think he has a better sense of the position than Vlad does, like kind of way. But everyone always like, man, what are you saying? Vlad's not good at first? I'm like, no, Vlad's good at first. He's just awkward as shit. Okay, and he's so athletic that he gets it done.
I feel like we should end it before we go on 20 more minutes about how Kevin Biggio is the greatest player of all time.
No, I mean, we have lots of time in the future.
Oh yeah, many podcasts.
Yeah, thank you if you've made it this far. We appreciate it.
Our bullshit spiel.
I don't actually know where to find any of our stuff. Anything will be linked in the description below, and then I'll work on figuring out how to end these.
I've been meaning to change my I have 2 minutes. I have a bunch of social media that I have different names for.
Yeah.
I need to just get one. And I think I'm gonna change it to just TFD_Connor. There you go. Sure. That's gonna be my new thing on Twitter. Just find me there.
Yeah, I had mine was all over the map, and I think I've condensed all of my stuff down to Brant Dubs now. I think. Smart. I don't think there's an underscore in any of them anymore, which is great. Yeah. It's good. I know we have a Twitter account for this. We have an Instagram and we have a TikTok. I don't know the handle to any of them, but it'll be linked in the description below.
I can pull it up. Hold
up. Hey, we'll be found where you find podcasts. I can tell you that much because I already have all that. It is
at the flight deck _.
Okay, for all of them? I'm pretty sure it's the same for all of them.
I know what this is.
TikTok might not have the underscore.
Yeah, it's just you should look up the flight deck.
If you look up the flight deck, you should find
a blue logo. You'll find us.
Yeah, we're there. Thank you for listening. We'll catch you sometime soon. We're gonna figure out a schedule. We're gonna get it all worked out. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys continue listening. Cheers.